It's Saturday night. You're in South Beach.
Yes, that's where I'm from. Well, where I was raised.
You're going to the club.
Yeah, you know. You're cruising down Ocean Drive.
Lady, hear me tonight, 'cause my feeling is just so right. As we dance by the moonlight, can't you see you're my delight? Lady, I just feel like I won't get you out of my mind. I feel love for the first time, and I know that it's true. I can tell by the look in your eyes.
Oh yeah. Wait, we are recording, right?
Are we?
Oh yeah. This is the second week in a row that we start with some bangers up on here.
I love it.
Some bops. Well, everybody, you may notice that the guy that usually sits there is not here today. It's not a guy.
No,
It's a girl.
It's me. It's a girl.
It's Valeria, and she's going to be joining me today. She has her own podcast, which we're going to talk about as well, called Industry of Cool, which is part of the Cultura Media House family. You have your own podcast here in the network, and she's going to be my co-host today. So welcome as my co-host.
Thank you so much.
And welcome to Pero Let Me Tell You.
Thank you.
We're a crazy bunch here.
I am crazy, so
Yeah.
I fit in.
I mean, exactly. It's funny because I didn't know too much about you, and I saw your episode of your podcast the other day. I'm like, okay, I think she could fit in.
Okay, I love it. Yeah.
Because we need a certain level of crazy, and especially when you're going to co-host, because
Right.
co-hosting is not to put the pressure on you, but it's some responsibility.
I'm feeling hot. I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
Because you know when we interview people, it's like we're interviewing you and asking you set questions and whatever. But then when you're co-hosting, you got to bring your A game.
Yeah, no pressure.
No
You
pressure.
have to be the best.
No pressure. But yeah, we're glad to have you, and we're glad we could bring somebody from Cultura on the show, and we're happy you're here. So
No, thank you.
Let the
it means
games
a lot to me.
let the games begin.
The Hunger Games?
The-
I'm kidding.
That didn't end too well.
I know. Kidding.
Did you like that movie?
I've never watched it. I know.
Aren't you into movies?
I am, but you will be surprised. There are a lot of movies that I
haven't seen.
watched.
Oh, and by the way, welcome to episode 342, everyone. 342. 342. So a funny thing about us is that I always get the episode numbers wrong. Like we're at 342, I'll pop up with and say like, oh, we're in episode 186. You know?
Last episode, we were 100 off.
We were 100 off. But so last week I was wrong. But prior to that, I went through like a streak of like probably like I would say 5 or 6 weeks that I was like, bam, getting them, and then all of a sudden I it was catastrophic.
I mean, 100 off. That's
100
crazy.
off.
But also, you have a lot of episodes, so I probably would not even say what number because I wouldn't know.
Yeah, no, that's why we always check to see like where what episode we're on, because it's a lot, and we know we do about 45 episodes a year. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, so 100 episodes ago was over 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. So episode 242 would have been about 2 years ago. So
wow, but what's like the secret to have so many episodes?
And consistency.
And no matter what, you will show up.
You and I were talking. And as a new podcaster, people are always asking us, since we've been doing this for so long. I mean, we've been doing video here in Cultura for about a year. But this is really the 8th season of the podcast. People ask me all the time, like, oh, how have you guys been able to maintain the podcast for so long and be so successful and monetize it and all that? And really, it's just consistency, like showing up. Like we have 45 episodes a year, rain or shine. We will have an episode for you. Sometimes it may not be great, but you will get a new episode every week. And it's funny because whenever we've had any type of technical issues because our shows drop, as you know, on Fridays, Pero Fridays. Happy Pero Friday, everyone. Hashtag Pero Friday. When we, for whatever reason throughout the years, we've had like a technical problem or whatever, that the show doesn't upload at the time it usually does. Oh, we will get a lot of pissed off people like, where's your show? Like,
no.
Where did it go? Like, where? Oh, no. People wonder, but let me tell you on Fridays.
Do you have haters?
No, it's not that they're haters, but.
No, I mean like separately. Like, have you ever had haters?
You know what? I have to tell you.
You're like, wait.
Okay, I'm going to try to very diplomatically answer that question because until very recently, the answer was no. Until very recently, it's been nothing but love. Like, really, it has. From our listeners, even Instagram comments. Like, you may have had your couple of, estúpido here and there, come mierda here and there. But generally, our Instagram comments are usually very good because we've been very good about forming community, and we will not tolerate bullshit in the comment section. Like, if your comment it's off the wall and offensive, it's getting deleted.
Yeah.
Like, period.
Yeah.
Like, we do not tolerate that. And we've always been very strict about that. There's people who put stuff that I don't agree with, and I'm like, okay, you're crazy. But they weren't disrespectful. So
okay.
I'm not going to take that off.
Yeah.
But it's usually been nothing but love. And like here in Miami, the influencer community has been nothing but love, very supportive. It wasn't until recently that there's another entity that has been a little catty with us, but that's fine.
Oh.
We love everyone.
Well, you know what Hector tells me?
We love everyone, right, Junior?
Peace and love.
Everybody love everybody.
We love everyone.
Like Junior says, I love you for free.
Yeah.
Have you heard him all the time?
Yeah.
I freaking love that quote.
Yeah. It's great.
But Hector tells me when you have people like that, you're doing something right. Like for someone to be commenting something that
Yeah.
So,
and it's sort of like, shit like our comments getting muted or deleted or things like that. But it's fine.
Only love.
But no, we love everyone.
Yes.
So it's like we've gone 8 years without ever really having any issues with anyone. I can assure you we could go 8 years more because
I believe it.
I'm also like, if you want problems, you could want them, but I'm not gonna respond.
I'm not subscribing to your channel.
I'm not gonna respond. I have a freaking kid. I have 3 side businesses. I have things to do. I was like, I'm not getting this petty bullshit. But we love everyone. We love everyone. No, and look, at the end of the day, we take, and this is sort of a refresher course to our listeners who are driving out to work at this moment. They're getting a Cliff Notes version of like the trajectory of Pero let me tell you. We know what our role is, and we take what's behind you, listen, laugh, and learn. We take that very seriously. And we know that a lot of people listen to us or now watch us. Good vibes, to smile, to laugh. Especially nowadays that people are so at like each other's throats and they're so aggressive. And
like if there wasn't a seat for everyone at the table.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So sometimes it's like, the competition and all that, it's like, bro, like everybody brings something different to the table. Like what are you so like freaking competitive and mad about?
I think that's just personal though.
Yeah. So we take that very seriously, that listen, laugh, and learn. And we know that a lot of people listen to us to like have a good time, to laugh, to be smiling on their way to work, to start their day in like a good mood, good vibes. And we take that very seriously. And, that's why we're very, we talk about a lot of things and nothing at the same time, but we make it relatable to people that they could be part of the conversation.
Yeah.
We don't front as these like alpha guys, like bro, we just want people to like laugh.
Yeah, but you know what is so sweet? I want to tell you something. You love your listeners. Like you
we
literally
do. We call them Pero Primos.
Oh, literally,
Pero
I was going to
primos.
say that's your family. And
Yeah, we
that's
call them pero
beautiful
primos.
to watch.
Look, just a couple of weeks ago, one of our listeners was in town and she wanted to meet us.
Stop. I was going to ask you if you've had meetups.
Whoa, many throughout the years. We've had meetups. And
Awesome.
we've been trying to do also we've gone several times to LA. So we call we'll do a series of episodes in LA called Pero Let Me Tell You Goes West. So then we meet like the whole Latino Cuban influencers in LA and we do shows with them and we profile them and then we meet listeners from LA. Yeah.
Freaking epic.
Yeah. I mean, it's taken us a while to get here.
It's not gonna be
it didn't happen overnight.
But it's because you love everyone
We
so much.
We do. And
you
we
literally love
we get
everyone.
recognized, believe it or not, we get recognized a lot.
I was going to ask you that too, but
Yeah.
I'm like asking too many questions.
Yeah. So it's okay. Pero let me tell you. So
That's
a couple
just who I am.
of years ago, we were in Punta Cana. In Punta Cana of all places. Well, I was in Punta Cana. Ish wasn't. I was in Punta Cana with my family. And I'm there with my son. We were at the Nickelodeon Beach Resort or whatever. And I asked this guy, like, hey, can you take a picture of me and my kid in front of SpongeBob? And he does. And when he hears my voice, he's like, hey, you sound familiar. Aren't you that guy from Pero Let Me Tell You? And I'm like, as a matter of fact, I am.
No.
Yeah. Or in the store or something. One of the funniest ones was a few years ago. There was a car accident and my car wasn't part of the car accident, but one of the cars that was sort of touched my car, just did a little scratch. So I had to stay there.
Yeah.
So I had to stay there for the whole freaking investigation. I had just gotten out of McDonald's and I had ordered ice cream.
No. And you're like, with your cone?
Se me derritió el helado. Good thing I didn't get a cone.
You didn't finish it?
Finish it? No, I was taking it to my kid at home. That wasn't even a milkshake by the time it was done. Anyway, so whatever. So the cop comes, he does the investigation, he does a police report, and he leaves me last because obviously he just needed to take my information as a witness. So then finally, like 2 hours later, when he gets to me, he's like, "Bro, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry this took so long." I give him my driver's license, so he sees my legal name, which is Darien Jesus, and he's like, "DJ." Are you DJ from Pero Let Me Tell You? And I'm like,
no.
Like, yeah. So a lot of stuff like that happens all the time. But you know what? Again, it's all love. It's all love. And
how do you not let it like get to your head?
Well, it's not like people are like, chasing us
but
either.
I mean, you're getting recognized in Punta Cana.
No,
I would think.
I mean, look, it's very humbling. It's very humbling. And I just don't lose perspective of that. Our show means something to people.
Yeah.
And, we didn't do this, to make money or to become famous. Like, we did this because we really liked talking and we thought we had a point of view. And we're like, oh, maybe 20 people will listen to us the first week. Then the next week, 15. And then after like 4 or 5 weeks, we could stop the show and say we podcasted. We were podcasters, but it grew very organically. So, it's never, I think also it's our personalities. It's just, we're not that type of people that it will go to our heads. So,
but it's like you are people's fams. Like, let's say somebody's at home working or driving home or, you guys are just part of their routine.
So the comment we get the most from people is, we get a lot of feedback from people that either moved away from Miami and they say that listening to us is like they're back home with their primos, just talking and shooting the shit.
I see that. Yeah.
Or they'll say that like, maybe they lost someone or something and our banter reminds them of like how they used to talk to their abuelo or to their tío or to their best friend or stuff like that. And when people tell you those stories, you really take a moment, like we had, I've said this a few times. We had a listener maybe 2 years ago or something reach out to us to thank us that, she sent us a DM and she said something along the lines of like, oh, I just want to let you guys know that today I was listening to your show and I was laughing and I realized that it was the first time I had laughed since I think my brother or somebody had died. So thank you guys for doing this. And, you know, when somebody reaches out and tells you that, something like that, you're really like, wow. Like the fact that you, through our little podcast, our little show, and I think when she sent that message, we weren't doing video yet. It was just audio. That means the world that you're able to enter somebody's world like that and just give good vibes.
Yeah, because the world in general, sorry for cutting you off, can be so negative.
Yeah, the world, especially now, is very negative.
Yeah, you open TikTok and it's like all these news and someone got kidnapped and you just like yesterday I was on TikTok and I was just crying my eyes out because there's just the video. So when you encounter a space like this one, you're making people feel less alone. Example, she told you that, and you guys are doing an amazing job.
Thank you. Well, I mean, you have only one episode. You're just starting, but I got very similar vibes from you. Like it was very from your show. And again, I'm going to give you the floor a little bit later so you could talk to us about your show. But you know, like I just feel now there's so much negativity, and there's so much negativity, especially in social media and on the news and all that. And people are just constantly fighting and gaslighting each other. And I'm like, no. This is good vibes here. This is good times. You know, let's laugh, you know, and let's have a good time. Porque you could find the negative stuff everywhere around you. Yeah. So this is like the happy space.
Yes, happy face. And have you heard that song, Happy House by CXC and the Banshees?
Yeah.
This is the happy house. This is it.
Well, I actually know that song because The Weeknd redid that song.
Oh, really?
And because you're part of the Cultura family and you're coasting with me, you have to understand that I'm a big fan of Abel. So much so that if you go back to our Halloween episode, I wasn't here. Abel was. I came dressed up as a Weeknd.
Oh, I was like, what?
I came dressed
Yeah, also, he's on a first name basis.
with Abel.
Yeah,
he's Abel.
I was like, oh, that's your friend.
I mean, you know, I was saying, I think I was saying it last week. Whenever I talk about him, I'm like, oh, because, you know, Abel's dropping a new album. And I'm like, I realize that I talk about him. Like him and I are, that's my boy. Yeah, it's mi primo. And I'm like, oh, no, it's The Weeknd.
Did you like when he was with Selena Gomez or Bella Hadid?
Okay, so I'm glad we're having this conversation. I didn't care about the relationship. I do think that after he broke up with Bella Hadid, he created what I think is the greatest piece of work of his career, which was the EP, My Dear Melancholy. The songs that came out from that breakup were freaking epic.
Is that the one that he used the voicemail with her voice? In the
part of them,
or something like that? Oh my gosh, what a freaking heartbreak.
Yeah, that's the one that has Call Out My Name.
Wait, but isn't Call Out My Name about Selena Gomez? Because there's a line that says, you took a thing from my body.
So I don't know lyrically which one it was, but that one came out post the Bella Hadid breakup. So they attribute it to that.
Okay.
I mean, next time I see Abel, I'll talk to him. I'll ask him.
Yeah, you should just text him.
Oh yeah, speaking of celebrities, this week it was the Met Gala. So I mean, I think whether you follow the Met Gala or not, it's sort of hard not to see it because it's freaking everywhere on social media and the news. I always have like mixed feelings. I'm a bit of a party pooper about it because I mean, first of all, I get it, but I don't get it. Like, I understand the artistry behind a lot of these costumes, and I understand that it's for charity. Yeah. But then at the same time, I look at a lot of them, and I'm like, bro, this is ridiculous AF.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? So I don't watch it, but, you know, if it's in my feed, I'll scroll through it. Yeah. So do you care about the Met Gala? Do you follow the theme? Are you into it?
I love fashion, so I love.
So I'm glad I asked. I brought that up as a topic.
Yeah, definitely. Also, my grandpa makes suits.
Oh, okay. Well, that was the theme this year, right? Tailored.
So I needed to see every suit that was out there at the Met Gala yesterday. I was so in awe of a lot of them. So that was. I don't really, honestly, I don't watch it like all the time, like every year. But I am always interested in seeing the actual fits and being like, okay, that makes sense. And wait, what was that? And some explanations are so deep and you're like, no, I didn't get it. I'm sorry. Like that was too deep for me.
Yeah, that was way too deep.
Yeah. But the tailors and the tailor suited theme was
like
amazing.
The dandy theme?
Yes. And
I thought that was great.
That was great. I loved it. And I think I feel like it was an honoring Andre Leon, like the fashion world, which I thought that was really sweet. But I also saw Rihanna, and she's pregnant again. Isn't that amazing? I was like, it was perfect for Mother's Day.
Bad girl Riri's pregnant.
I know.
This baby number 3?
3. Yeah, I saw that. And then, I can't wait to actually, I'm going to see my grandpa. And I have to show him all the suits because
So
they were
he's a
incredible.
suit maker?
Yes.
We call it in Spanish un sastre, right?
Sí, un sastre.
That's such a like...
He's been making suits since like the 60s, the 70s.
Wow.
Yeah, he has a talent. He'll, like, for example, Hector, my husband, he'll look at him and be like, you're a size. One day he was like, can you get his size so I can like make him a sastre? And I was like, oh, he's like 33. He's like, no, he's not. And he looked at him and he knew exactly his size. He made his first suit, which was, I think, for our wedding. And yeah, he came from like the lower to the top. He started as a worker in the store. Then he moved up to manager, and then he got his own business, and he's called Luis Uribe. And yeah.
Is that here or in Colombia?
Colombia.
In Colombia.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's incredible. That's a great story because that's not typical.
Yeah.
Oh, my grandfather
Makes
Musatre.
suits. I know.
He's a tailor, but
I
like
know.
a real tailor.
Yeah, and he'll walk around every single day suited up. Like, I think I'm the one in the family that get like sometimes dresses like Adam Sandler, and then other times has like a leather jacket. Like
Right.
I'm more like, but my grandpa's like sastres every single day. In Miami is hard. They live in South Beach. It's very hot, so obviously not. But if it was up to him, he would be with his sastres. He has every color. He always is like, you need that little thing here. Like,
Does he still do it?
yeah. They still run some stores in Colombia. His dream is to maybe start doing something here, maybe with social media, seeing how that works.
Listen,
We're
there's
in talks,
definitely a market here. I mean, I'm sure he knows well. Last year, we went to a wedding in Italy, and like me, my kid, my father, we had to get like our suits like basically reconstructed, and we went to un sastre, and they charged a pretty penny. Like it was not cheap
at all. Like a good suit here, I don't know in Italy. Here is like $200, $300. Over there, if they make it over there, it's like $100. So it's a big difference. So we'll see with that. But yes, that's why I was so interested in the Met Gala, because I needed to see how everybody dressed up. And I wish I could be suited too. I love suits.
Yeah. I sort of have a love-hate relationship with suits, but because, for many, many years when I used to do litigation as an attorney, I was in court every day, and I worked in big law and a really big law firm in Brickell, all that whole lifestyle. And I had to be in a suit like every day. And when you have to wear it almost as a uniform, you sort of...
It's not like, oh, I'm styling. It's like, I have to go to work.
It's like I'm going to work and I have to be with a tie. And,
No,
you couldn't like undo your tie or anything. You have to be like prim and proper. And that it was so long that after a while I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, you're like, I don't want to see a suit again in my
it's
entire
like,
life.
It's like if I don't have to wear a tie, like it's a win. It's a win.
Wait, are you still doing that?
No. My big law years are behind me.
You just like stopped that?
No. I not in the capacity of like a big law firm. Now it's like, private practice and all that. No. You could only do that for so long. That will kill you.
Oh, wow.
Now that you said que tú eres de Colombia, you know what I always say Colombia's gift to humanity is?
Coffee?
Okay. I don't drink coffee.
Oh, what?
No, I don't drink coffee.
What do you get for energy?
Red Bull.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I don't drink any coffee. I don't discriminate.
This is not a sponsorship.
I don't drink Colombian coffee. I don't drink American coffee. I don't drink Cuban coffee. I don't drink any coffee.
Wow.
I think Colombia's gift to the world is pan de bono. Isn't it the greatest thing ever?
The best thing in the world. I could eat that every morning.
Since you are, because I talk about pan de bono all the time, but I'm Cuban. Explain to our listeners who don't know what a pan de bono is.
It's a cheesy bread.
But the thing about pan de bono being
It's so much more than that.
Yes,
okay?
it's so
Yeah,
much
it
more.
is.
You
It
undersold
But
it.
like,
Cheesy
no,
bread.
I know, I
No
know.
le
But
falta
I feel
respeto
like
tampoco,
I know,
please.
but I
It's-
feel like
it's special.
I've tried to explain it. Like for example, to Hector, he's like, "But it's cheese with bread," and I was like,
But
"Well,
it's not.
it's not. It's
No,
a little
because
bit more."
it's when you say cheese and bread, it sounds like a piece of cheese on a piece of bread.
Yeah, no.
The in pan de bono, the cheese is part of the bread. It's part of
The bread is cheese.
the bread is cheese.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The bread is cheese.
The bread, like, there's no, like, you don't mix anything. It's just it.
Like, I
it's
have-
at its essence.
I have a nice warm.
I don't know why I'm looking that way. The
I have
camera's not even there.
A nice warm pan de bono, and I'm like,
Oh my
this is
gosh!
amazing.
So where do you get your pan de bonos? I need to know.
As a Colombian, you're gonna look at me, but
Let
they
me
get it
guess.
from a Colombian place.
Oh, okay.
7-Eleven has fire pan de bono because they get it from a Colombian.
I need them
They-
because
they-
I didn't know that.
They get it from a Colombian, I guess, distributor. So they just heat them up there. They already come, I guess frozen or raw, and they just heat them there up in the oven. So
7-Eleven. I'm gonna
in
go
the
to
morning, but it's not all 7-Elevens.
Oh,
It
so
has to be in
which
like Kendall and Westchester and all that. When you go there in the morning, they're just hot out of the oven. It's like they melt in your mouth.
But I'm so sad because you don't drink coffee,
No,
and like the pan de bono
with
the
coffee.
coffee.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm so hungry now. What about the buñuelo?
¿El buñuelo colombiano o cubano?
No, colombiano.
I don't think I've had buñuelo colombiano because there's buñuelo cubano. It's a thing that looks like a pretzel, right?
No, it's a ball.
It's a ball
Yeah.
with what?
A lot of bread
There's
inside. It's so I like pan de bono more because of the figure, right? It's like
Right,
this.
yeah.
It's like okay. El pan de bono, el buñuelo es así. So when you bite into it, you have so much masa inside,
Yeah.
and sometimes that gets annoying.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not the same.
We're talking
thing.
about pan de bono and Colombian delights here on Pero Let Me Tell
I
You.
know. I recommend if you're ever in 8th Street, there's a place called Sanpocho. The empanadas and the buñuelos and the everything Colombian is so good.
Listen, la bandeja paisa es colombiana. I mean,
Yes.
I think people sometimes sleep on Colombian food, and like, it's crazy because it's so good.
They're missing out a lot,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Not because I'm Colombian, honestly. I would tell you if like the food or whatever, but it's so good.
Here in Miami, that place on Bird Road, Pueblito Viejo, that place is an experience. If you are from Miami, this is not a sponsored post. You need to go to Pueblito Viejo in Bird Road. That
Yeah.
place is an experience.
But
That's
you
not a
have to-
restaurant.
You have to get there at a good time, like at 5 p.m. Because if not, you won't go in.
No, we went maybe like a year ago, like a big group of friends, and
Mm-hmm.
we were like, "Oh my god!" The place inside is overwhelming.
It's like the characters,
Yeah.
like Juanes, and they all
Yeah.
look like
Yeah.
but not really.
Yeah.
But the owner, I know him.
Mm-hmm.
He's a whole character. Have you seen a guy there with all tatted up? That's the owner.
That's the owner.
Oh my gosh, it's just amazing. But yeah, I like Pueblito Viejo.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
churrasco there is really
Yeah.
good.
So yeah,
They have a location in Chicago too.
Really?
Pueblito Viejo.
Yeah.
Is it the same one?
The same family, everything. Yeah.
Oh, Pueblito Viejo in Chicago.
Yep.
Wow.
Mira eso. Mira
Oh.
eso. By the way, I get insulted for you when they spell Colombia with a U. I just want to say that.
Wait, you spell?
Of course I don't.
Oh.
I say I get insulted for
Oh,
you when they spell
yes.
it with a U.
Is that real? Like people actually put Colombia instead
Of
of
course
Colombia?
they do. You're talking about people in the United States.
I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know. I'm actually upset
You think
right
that the
now.
average American can find Colombia on a map?
No. And they're have you been?
No, I haven't been to Colombia.
It's a dream come true.
I would love to go to Barranquilla
Okay.
and
I've
to
never been there.
Cartagena.
Love Cartagena.
Yeah.
What
I mean,
about
all of it,
Bogota?
all of it. Well, all of it. But those in particular. What I always hear about Colombia is that it has perfect weather.
Where?
Okay, well, I always hear it's like San Diego. It has perfect weather.
So where I'm from is Bogota, and it's very cold and gloomy and rainy.
Okay, so
and
except
dark.
Bogota.
It's the best. I love gloomy days. You know how people feel great on like sunny days? I feel great in gloomy days.
I could be like that too.
Like listening to the Smiths and
Like,
driving and it's rainy and
listening
it's
to
all
the Smiths.
dark.
How Colombian of you.
I know. Oh, listening to Carlos Vives. No, the Smiths. I'm actually gonna go watch Morrissey.
Listen. Wow, man.
May 17th for my birthday.
Are you from like Rhode Island?
Hi.
Like,
I know.
listen, Carlos Vive, I mean, I think people forget what a like chokehold Carlos Vive had on the culture like maybe
Are
20
you
years
kidding
ago.
me?
Pa-
Fruta fresca.
Fruta
You don't know
fresca.
fruta fresca. I'm sorry.
By Maite, you know, all
Yeah.
those songs are like, those songs are classics.
Classic. They're not a song. It's an experience.
It
You
is.
start listening to that and just like the indigenous feel to it and the drums and la cumbia. It's Carlos Vives is Carlos Vives for a reason.
Yeah.
It's not that he's just like an encanto. Like he is the best artist.
You know,
one
it's
of the
funny
best.
when you mention indigenous, it's interesting that you mentioned that because I think that's something that's very unique to Latin culture that a lot of times like American culture has a little bit of a hard time understanding and grasping. I feel that American culture is very like, okay, this is like California culture. This is Black culture. This is like Texan culture, Southern culture. You know, this comes from Europe. This comes from Africa. It's very like individual. And, you know, I try to explain this to people that are not Latino, that it's like, you know, for example, Cuba, which is probably the same in most countries in Latin America. Like Cuba has obviously European influence, but obviously has African influence. But they're so meshed together that it's like nobody's there sitting like this is, you know, indigenous and this. I mean, you know the backgrounds obviously, but it's so woven in the culture that it's just like everybody is this and
It's like
everybody.
salsa.
Yeah, it's like
Everything is salsa.
everything is salsa. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the music, the food, everything is so like the culture is so set that I think people know their origins, but it's not about that. It's like this is a collective.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
This is totally a
part
collective.
of you. Like you can't miss like an arm.
Right.
You need your whole body. And
Right.
I think that's the way it is.
Right,
and
because
where we're
there's so many customs that like, you know, come from like indigenous culture or like African culture that's so, again, the collective of whatever country in Latin America that everybody like, for example, you know, in Cuba, which again, it's a big Caribbean thing, especially Santeria is such a big part of the Cuban experience, which obviously that's African, right?
Yeah,
but that is such a big part of the Cuban experience, even if you don't practice it, right?
Right. Like
But-
you think, oh, that's part of Cuba.
That you don't even exactly
history of Cuba.
like. I was explaining this actually the other day to a relative of mine that I was saying, you know, that San Lázaro and like Santa Barbara aren't really Catholic, right? They come from Santeria, and Santeria comes from Africa.
Exactly.
But you know,
and they didn't know like
they hadn't really thought about it because again, it's so intertwined that. But I think that that's very unique. I mean, I don't want to speak on behalf of the whole world, clearly. But I think that that's a very uniquely Latino thing. That there's so much, there's European, there's Black, there's indigenous, that it's so interwoven that it's
beautiful.
It's really a
like
mix.
you have to dive in and you have to. I love sitting with my grandparents and asking them like, where was your dad from? Where was your mom from? How did you get to Bogota? My grandpa's not from there. And then like I love like what's their name and like what did they believe? I think asking those questions is so wise if you want to really know where you come from.
And you could tell so much in the food because like for example, Peruvian food is so Asian, like but that's because there's a huge Chinese and Japanese influence and immigration to Peru. So again, that's so interwoven in there. I mean, Fujimori was their president, you know.
That's right. So you're like,
so that's so interwoven in their culture that it is what it is.
That's
Hay
so
peruanos
rich.
que son chino, you know. It's like that's just it is.
That's how it is. I mean, I think especially when like I got married with Hector, his mom is Cuban. his dad is from Guatemala. My whole family is Colombian. That makes our child from so many places. And like I also ask them questions like the Guatemalan like culture. Are you kidding me? Like my father-in-law's dad, like all of that lineage come from like Germany. So then like their skin is like really pale, but like their eyes are green. But you have to go back. They're like, oh, wow. Like I think it's impressive.
23andMe's for Latinos is wild.
Stop. Did you do it?
Because the thing with 23andMe is that, and I tell this to people all the time, you could present white that you probably have black in you. 100%. And vice versa. You could present black but you have white in you because it's so mixed.
Yeah.
You know, especially the Caribbean was so mixed with so many people coming in and out.
Yeah, that we're all Spaniards, I feel like.
Yeah, but all of us have African in us too.
Yeah.
Even if we're white, we have African.
Indigenous.
And it's usually not like 0.01, it's like 10, 20, 20 some percent, you know, like it's big.
So you did it.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't done it, but in my family they have.
I did it.
And what did you find?
A little bit of everything. Honestly, I forgot because I had to delete my data. Because I don't know if you noticed that they went bankrupt.
Yes,
and
I
people
heard something about that.
were so afraid. So I saw a TikTok. I have a TikTok, and they were like, "You need to erase all your data because they're gonna leak your stuff.
They have your DNA.
They're gonna clan you, and they're gonna." And I'm like, "Oh my god, oh my god." I backed it up.
Yeah,
I erased everything, and I'm like, "Oh!" But I never told them. I never gave the consent to. Like I told them to discard everything, but now.
Did you find anything that surprised you?
No.
You knew?
Nothing at all. Yeah, I knew. Yeah, I was very into 23andMe at that time.
So what did you have?
I had Spaniard, Indigenous. I don't remember the percents. I had French.
Most Latin people have
Africa, but I don't remember.
Most Latin people have Iberian, which is Spain or Portugal.
Yeah.
And
Portugal.
Yeah. Iberian.
Yes.
I always tell people Iberians are the brown people of Europe. And sub-Saharan African and a lot of Latinos have that.
Like
una sopa.
Una sopa. I love us. I love Latinos.
That's why we have so much seasoning.
Yeah, literally.
We're not just salt and pepper.
No. We're like, I have to write it down on my notes. My grandma taught me how to cook. And I'm like, I have to do this. I have to get la cebolla. Tengo que
a Latina that doesn't cook.
Can you believe that?
I mean, it's the first time for everything.
But now I cook fire. You know, when I became a mom, best thing that happened to me.
Is your child eating pan de bono?
She loves it.
Of course she does.
Pan de bono. She loves croquetas.
All the
Cuban,
food groups.
Colombian.
All the food groups.
She loves tamal, but Colombian.
Colombian.
Well, also from Guatemala, but she hasn't tried the Cuban one. Oh no, she did. Sorry, guys. She did. She likes everything.
She likes everything.
Yeah.
So, anyway, what? I think you have some topics, things you want to talk about.
You know what? Labubus.
The what?
Labubus.
What is this?
Have you heard about No, you haven't.
No. And tell our listeners.
It's driving me like wild.
What is it?
So on Easter, I went to what was that? I broke
Not the
chair.
furniture breaking.
I broke the chair. So it's these little plush toys that you can collect. I don't know if you remember Kid Robot back in the day in South Beach, that you would like get a little box and you would open it and it was like a surprise for you. You didn't know what you were going to get. So on Easter, I go to my in-laws' house. And shout out to Gloria. I love her so much. She's like our little like cousin. She's 9 years old, but she talks to me like if I am her bestie. Like we talk about everything. Like, what are you into? And she tells me, oh my gosh, there's this thing called Labubus. And then there's this thing called Crybabies. And then there's this thing. And I was like, okay, I'm like, that's amazing. Let me just like search it. Like,
what is it called?
Labubus. It's Labubus.
A Labubu doll.
A Labubu doll.
Oh, wait.
Never heard of it.
These look familiar.
Stop it. They're selling out everywhere.
No, but these look like old. Like, these are new?
I don't know when they started, but I just found out about them. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Pop Mart because that's where you get them.
Mm-hmm.
And I started seeing, of course, my algorithm.
Labubu doll.
Yes, it's all like unboxing videos. Like,
Of
oh, what am I
Labubus?
gonna get? And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so exciting. So I ended
But
up going
when you get the box, you don't know which one's
You
gonna be
don't
in it.
know.
Okay.
And I went to Pop Mart and I was like, well, I'm just gonna get myself a Labubu or a Crybaby or whatever. You're right. It is so hard to get a Labubu because now I guess celebrities are starting to show it. It was like an underground thing, and now everybody's trying to get Labubus. But to the point that you are on TikTok and there's all these markets like I'm about to drop the link in 3, 2, 1, drop, sold out.
Wow.
Immediately. And I was like, no, now I need.
Is there Labubu stock we can invest in?
Well, I don't know about stocks.
Well, listeners, you heard it here. Labubus.
You need to get to it because it is really hard to get them. But honestly, shout out to Pop Mart because I've been on those Pop Mart lives and I've been able to get myself.
This
Labubus.
reminds me of Junior. What was back in the day?
Cabbage Patch?
Cabbage Patch when we
Elmo?
were kids. Elmo was a big one. Beanie Babies.
Beanie Babies.
I love Beanie Babies.
Oh yeah, but I remember that Beanie Babies craze. That people were like paying hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for
Okay.
Beanie Babies. What was that all about?
There's also like a
Insane.
movie now on Apple TV
What?
with Elizabeth Banks and Zach Galifianakis, and it's about the Beanie Babies story.
No.
Like it's a documentary.
No, it's
It's a
like
bio?
them playing
Beanie
the-
Babies.
Yeah.
No,
based
like the owners.
No, based on the Ty
Ty was Ty.
Ty something. Yeah, the owner of the company and the drama of all of that. So,
Ooh,
yeah,
I
it's
want to
them
watch
playing
that. I
them.
love
Yeah.
that stuff.
It's on Apple TV.
Well, I was gonna get to that. The Labubus on Pop Mart web are $22. Resellers are buying them and reselling for $70. One Labubu,
That's a great ROI.
$90, $100. So when I couldn't get one, I ordered one on Amazon. It was fake because now they're making
Fake
fake
Labubus.
Labubus with the barcode.
Not fake Labubus.
They call them Lafufus. They call them Lafufus.
Leave it.
Stop. You guys need to get in this.
That's
I
crazy.
have one in my bag right now.
You have one
a
here?
Labubu.
Okay, show us.
Oh, but like it's
Oh, no, it's outside.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay, okay.
I'll show it to you later. I only have 3 now, but
You know what's crazy though? Now that I'm thinking about what we were like Beanie Babies, this was before social media. Those things went viral without things going viral. Because I'll never forget that people would collect them, and there were some that were $10, and then there were some that were like $500, and it's like, but what makes this parrot $500 and this bird $10, and then there was like a whole story. So I often think like if Beanie Babies were around today, like the craze was around
you
today,
imagine?
with things going viral, yeah.
No, I mean, I was like, I'm not gonna pay that much. But I went on there and I was able to secure some Labubus. But also, I was like, I'm not gonna be stingy. I'm just gonna get one of each series because they have different series, and that's it. Like I'm okay just because of the game. Like you're like, oh, I got it.
Were you around? Maybe you weren't around during the Cabbage Patch.
Yeah, I had one. I was not born 1993.
Okay. Cabbage Patch were a little bit before you were born. It was like a mid to late 80s things. Like
That they smell good and they had a signature in the butt.
Yes, and they had like a birth certificate. Like
yeah.
Cabbage Patch, I remember. I mean, I was really really small, but it was like a big thing.
Oh yeah.
And then when I was like bigger, like I remember the whole Tickle Me Elmo thing. That people were dropping thousands of dollars for Tickle Me Elmo.
I never went for those, but I feel like I'm a young girl again.
With a Labubu.
But let me tell you something. There's
But
more
let me
to
tell
this.
you, you're in the right show.
Oh wow! But let me tell you something. I didn't even do it on purpose. I find out about the Labubus, and then I'm like, wait, but Sunny Angels, so cute. And then I'm like, wait, Smiskies, so cute. I have one on my phone now. They have all these series, so I'm like, I need to look for a store. And that's been me and my daughter. I'm taking her all over the place to like find all this stuff. And I find one in Sunset Place, my favorite mall. Like I used to go there in high school every Friday. Hollister,
That is
walking
closing.
around.
We'll miss you,
I
Sunset
know.
Place.
Don't remind me because now that's our hangout spot. And I found a little store still holding tight in that Sunset Mall. And they sell all those blind boxes. Colorful, cute for you guys. Now you know.
This segment was not brought to you by Labubu.
No. Or tiny little triggers.
Oh yeah, this weekend. By the way, happy belated May the 4th
Be with
with you. Are you a Star Wars fan?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know that much of. I know Natalie Portman played
Junior,
Like, what did I invite
Junior,
her?
what are we gonna do with her? I'm gonna rescind my invitation.
You're like, you know what? Get out.
You haven't seen seriously, you haven't seen any of them?
I saw the original, like the
three?
90s.
No, those aren't the original. No.
Let me see. Completely. I saw the one with Natalie Portman and
It's not the original.
No.
No.
Oh, with Carrie. Wait, no. What's her name?
Carrie Fisher?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Those are the originals. So you know how they came out? They didn't come out in order.
No.
So Star Wars came out, correct me if I'm wrong, Junior, 77, 81, and 83, 84, which was episode 4, 5, and 6. So the first Star Wars in 77 was episode 4. Then Empire Strikes Back is episode 5. And The Return of the Jedi, which came out in 83, 84, was episode 6. The ones that came out in the 90s with Natalie Portman were episodes 1, 2, and 3. So the ones in the 90s and early 2000s were in the storyline came before the ones from the 70s and the 80s. But the ones from the 70s and the 80s are the original.
77, 80, 83.
Okay, so
And then 99, 02, 05.
okay.
I
And then
watched the
15,
99.
16, 17, 18.
So
19.
people often ask me. So I love Star Wars.
Yes, you do.
I'm not obsessed with Star Wars. I'm not
Oh, okay.
like one of these like super fans that goes crazy.
You didn't dress up on May the 4th.
No, I'll wear this, but no, I don't take it that far. But I do love the movies. And people, ask all the time, should you watch it in chronological order as the story goes? I don't. I would watch the original 3 first because I challenge you this. Has your husband seen them? He probably has.
I think he has.
Okay.
I'm going to ask him when I get home.
I challenge you guys to watch the original 3 and then watch the newer 3.
Yeah.
The first one, episode 4, it's good. The first Star Wars, the one from 77, is good. Empire Strikes Back is one of the greatest movies you will ever see in your life.
Wow.
And Empire Strikes Back is what hooked me to Star Wars. Because when I was a little kid, that's when like Return of the Jedi had come out. And I kind of remember, but I was too small. So when in the 90s, in like the late 90s, they started releasing the original 3. This was like 96, 97. Right before, a few years before the new ones came out, they started releasing the original 3 in the movie theater. So you could go watch them in the movie theater. And that's when I saw them. And when I saw Return of the Jedi, The Empire Strikes Back, I was like, okay, I get it. That's when I was like, okay, I get it. Well,
challenge accepted.
Because of everything that happens in that movie. Yeah, everything that happens in that movie, yeah, you're going to be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, this is so good. Like, now, like, everything Star Wars is like a major IP. So now there's like Star Wars fatigue the same way there's Marvel fatigue and DC fatigue. There's just so many movies and so much content that it's like, I don't even know what to watch anymore.
How long are those movies? Are they like 2 hours?
Yeah,
3
they're
hours
they're
long?
regular 2 hours.
Regular 2 hours?
Yeah, no, they're not Lord of the Rings.
Okay, yeah, because
Yeah, no. No, they're under 2 hours long.
But that's what they said about Lord of the Rings, that the Lord of the Rings came out first, and then The Hobbit is this backstory, but it came out later on.
The Hobbit is a prequel to Lord of the Rings.
That some people, like I know someone that Valentina loves Lord of the Rings, and she was telling me, like, I was so fascinated how she was telling me just like this, and she was telling me Hobbit is the best. Like she thinks The Hobbit is the absolute best. So
I'm not into Lord of the Rings as much to make that call, but I do love The Hobbit. I love the book.
Okay.
The book, I read the book in school, in I think middle school, and then I read it again in college. The book is great.
Yeah.
But Star Wars, Like, well, it's one of the first things we talked about. You love movies.
I love movies.
You as a movie person, you should watch Star Wars. That doesn't mean you're gonna get into the franchise. It doesn't mean you're gonna become like a Star Wars fan.
but I watch everything.
But you should watch it.
I love when people tell me you should watch it. That's what I live for, and music as well. So
yeah. What are I think you were about to tell me movies that are really popular that you haven't seen?
Yeah. I feel like I feel it's interesting because there's a lot of movies I watched when I was little. But if I watch them again, it's like watching them for the first time.
Of course.
Because there's so many things you just don't remember. And I feel like...
Or you don't get.
Yes. And especially me coming to Miami at 9 years old, my first language was always Spanish. Like I learned English here. So there's a lot of things I didn't understand in the movies. And then I'm like, oh, I get what you're saying now. But yeah, like for example, Scarface. I just watched Scarface for the first time in 2017. I know now it's been a while, but it was something that people were like, you haven't watched? And I'm like, no.
You know what though? I saw Scarface not in 2017, but I remember I was a teenager when I saw Scarface for the first time. I was probably like 18 or 19.
Yeah.
So I saw it a little later as well.
Yeah, like it was a movie that I did. Actually, I recently learned. Do you like conspiracy theories and stuff?
No.
You're not into conspiracy theories?
No, I'm not.
Oh, wow. It's so rare to meet someone who's like, nah. I feel like now everyone is like, everything is a
That is
No,
why
but this wasn't a conspiracy
I'm not
theory.
into conspiracy theories.
No, actually, I lied. This was not a conspiracy theory. This
About
was
Star
a
Wars?
story
About
about
Scarface?
Scarface, about a girl that was an extra in the film, and then she like lost it, and she went back home, and then she got lost, and no one ever found her. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into it, but the people Friday, like, bro, what are you talking about? I'm trying to just have fun. Yeah. So Scarface, and what was the other film, like The Godfather and stuff?
So, funny you mentioned those two movies. Scarface. So you grow up, especially as a guy, you grow up like, oh my God, Tony Montana, is the man. You know, fucking Tony Montana.
Yeah.
I remember watching Scarface for the first time, and then like I saw it after again, not too long after. I'm like, you know what? Tony Montana is a idiot.
Yeah.
Because first of all, he lost his best friend. He lost the girl, and everybody around him died because of him.
Because
so
of his
tell
ego.
me again how this guy is, because it's not like, okay, well, he fucked everybody over, but he ended up as a kingpin, like, tremendo, like, damn.
Yeah.
He lost everybody around him. Like, that's part of the story that I was like, I don't know about this. Like, I don't know. What do you think, Junior?
Scarface?
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
Italian guy playing a Cuban. All right, that's it. Yeah.
That's it.
Wow, would you want to watch it again with like who do you think could play like a really good Scarface if it was made again?
I feel like I don't know enough
Andy
Acting.
Where's Andy Garcia from?
Cuba.
Oh, I think he could.
He's up there
Yeah.
as a potential, but he was in The Godfather already. Andy Garcia.
For Scarface?
And I don't know, who would you cast if you switch that?
For Tony Montana nowadays? It didn't have to be Cuban. I wouldn't.
Well,
I mean,
storyline, the original of this.
I mean,
not
no,
the
but
original
I'm saying the
storyline,
actor
but that.
doesn't have to be Cuban. For like to recast Scarface, who would I put as Tony Montana? New actor?
The guy playing a Cuban guy.
Should be Cuban?
Do you
that's
think
why I was.
So
Isn't
Or
I
at
have
least
to be-
Latino. Latino?
Oh no, Latino, yeah, definitely. No, definitely Latino, of course.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be Cuban, but I don't know. It'll probably have to be somebody in their. I don't know, how old was Tony Montana?
I don't know. 30 something?
Okay. Fly, Flamingo, fly. That's one of the best parts. You know The
Fly
Godfather?
Pelican.
Fly Pelican.
Pelican.
And it was like a seagull or something
Yeah.
in the video.
Yeah.
Way up.
I love the little dance Michelle
I just
Pfeiffer
love the
is
lines.
doing.
Like the lines for me.
Yeah.
And just
Oh,
hearing
the
it
eyes,
in the
Chico.
accent.
They
What?
never
They
lie.
never lie.
That
Okay.
that right there, I
Yeah.
say maybe once a week.
No, and I like the que más carne, que más carne.
Así viene el sandwich. I retire. And he throws the apron.
So good.
That scene is with Joe from Que Pasa USA.
Steven Bauer.
Who left-
Rocky Echevarria.
Who left Que Pasa USA to do Scarface.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So, no, when you told me about famous movies that you hadn't seen, I thought you were going to say something like Titanic or something.
No, I
like
love
that.
Titanic. That's definitely my top 10, Titanic. No, but yeah, like, but there's things like that people are like, have you? And I was like, no. And they're like, what? And I was like, yeah, there's a lot of films. I really love French films. I love watching everything,
Oui.
you know? You know, just you.
Vous parlez français?
Je m'appelle Valeria, je suis colombiana. J'habite in Miami.
J'ai étudié français pour 5 ans dans le lycée. Et je parle un peu de français.
Oh.
Quand je voyage à Paris, je parle français avec les personnes en Paris parce que je parle un peu sur ma famille avec mes voyages à Paris. Me dit, t'as rien, parle français avec les personnes, t'as rien, you know, it's just, yeah.
That's amazing. We
Oui.
have really good accent. I like it. Yeah, for real.
Somebody who's French for real
Will
is going to be
probably
like,
be like,
¿qué
she's like-
disparate dijo este hombre?
I don't think so. What do you think, Junior? I think it was pretty great.
Yep.
Oui.
It passes. Ooh la la.
Le
la,
fromage.
monsieur.
Le fromage.
fromage.
Avec le fromage. No, man, like I think we're all movie people here. Like we're all movie
Definitely.
people. Like
Definitely.
Godfather was one of those that like I saw also later. I probably saw in my late teens, early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
But when I saw it, I'm like, oh, I get it. Like I get why this movie is as epic as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
No,
then there's other movies that you watch that it's kind of like, like a lot of times, like you see these movies of like these old time Hollywood people like Joan Crawford, Betty Davis.
Whatever happened to Baby Jane?
Yeah, but you know what though? I think that those movies you sort of have to see them as like a novelty because I think acting back then was just so over the top.
Yeah, that was their gold.
It was like telenovela acting, right? Like there wasn't subtlety.
No.
And everything was so over the top that like you see a lot of it now
Yeah.
and you're like, it's not even that it's not good. It's just not the style of acting that they do now.
Right. And I do think that also the acting and their life at that time was very over, like the way
Messed
they
up.
were dressed. And then, you know, actually, did you watch the new Black Mirror?
No, but I
serious?
love Black Mirror.
Let me tell you something. I really recommend Eulogy and Hotel Riviere.
Are
Hotel
those new?
Riviere, yeah,
Those are new?
they're brand new from the season 7. The Hotel Riviere is about vintage films like that. Like,
Oh,
and I'm not
maybe
gonna
I'll
tell you
watch
what it's
that tonight.
amazing. Just watch those two. And I really, but it's about that, like the acting back in the day, the way they would react to things. And I think it's
That Black Mirror, and for those of you who out there who have not seen Black Mirror, I cannot recommend that show enough. It's on its 7th season, you said?
7th, yeah.
The show is insane. I think it's like a modern day Twilight Zone, sort of.
Yes.
The episode of the social media of the likes.
That was
That
like,
episode. So there's an episode that I think it's in one of the earlier seasons,
Yeah.
like seasons 2 or 3.
I think it might be first season, no?
Or maybe first seasons. It's one of the earlier seasons that. So this was like 10 years ago at this
Yeah.
point, because those seasons. It's not a 7th season, but they don't do a season every year. So
No.
it's probably more than 10 years old. But it's Dallas Bryce Howard who's the main character of that series. That she goes around and everything she does, she gets likes, and then based on the likes, you have a ranking in society and you have access and privileges to certain things that other people don't. And that was sort of foreshadowing social media.
Now.
Because when they filmed that, I don't think that social media was what it is now.
Yeah.
We still had Instagram and all that, but it's not what it is now.
No.
And you see that episode now and it's like crazy.
Mind blowing.
2016. So it was
The first,
right
se-
at-
the
right
first
at-
season or that
No,
episode?
that episode.
Oh, that
Season
episode?
3, episode 1.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So it was still early, and it was also early in the social media game and everything.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning, the
Right.
precipice of it.
Yeah.
So
But that's kind of scary now because the things that you watch now on season 7 are so mind blowing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first, no, you have to watch it.
Yeah, no, Black Mirror is one of these shows that's a little hard to explain.
Yeah.
Because there's a different cast in every episode. It's non-linear storylines.
No, you could watch season 7 and then watch.
There's not
the
a
first
going
one.
theme throughout
No.
each season. Each episode is like a standalone movie.
Yeah.
And it's just really, really messed up. The one of John Hamm.
Wait, is that the one of the
It's a Chris-
space people?
No, that's one in Christmas. I think it's Christmas. Is it Christmas?
Wait, I don't remember.
No, they're in like a
that
cabin, in
one.
a log cabin. That one is messed up
seen
as
that
well.
one.
That one is really, really
The one
good.
that messed me up was the one with the actor from 40 Days, 40 Nights.
Mm-hmm.
They're like spacemen.
Josh Hartnett?
Yes. That one, I couldn't go to sleep
Wow.
when I watched that one. And the graphic pictures of that episode messed me up for like a whole week. It was so intense. But I actually like season 7 so far because it's like the last season scared me. Like genuinely. I was like, But this one makes you think of like that could be a possibility. And like Hotel Riviera about films and acting. For me,
Right.
I was like, I kept telling Hector, I'm like,
I'm
this is
gonna check
blowing
this
my
out. I'm gonna check
mind.
this out because I haven't seen the new season, but I love that show. So
Yeah.
so last week was Cinco de Mayo.
Mm-hmm.
And here in the U.S., Cinco de Mayo is like a big deal. It's like you go have tacos, you put on a sombrero, and happy Cinco de Mayo. But do you know the origins of Cinco de
No,
Mayo?
I was gonna ask you. Like,
So-
I actually forgot. Like, we don't really celebrate it.
So it's funny because Americans think that Cinco de Mayo is the
Like
Mexican
Mexican?
Revolution. It's not.
It's not, right?
Cinco de Mayo really is a date that commemorates a war or a battle between the Mexican army and I believe the French army. And really that was in Cinco de Mayo in 18. I don't know the exact date, but the date was to commemorate a battle that the Mexican army had against the French. It was not the Mexican Revolution. What's really interesting is that the holiday as we know it as Cinco de Mayo in the United States really started in the 1980s by like beer companies that they thought it would be sort of like a good marketing plan
Right.
to celebrate Cinco de Mayo drinking beer. And it just grew bigger and bigger and bigger. And it turned into what it is today that Americans, because it's only celebrated in the United States,
Yeah.
that Americans go and celebrate and have tacos and,
That's
beer
so funny.
and they celebrate Mexico. But in reality,
But it has nothing to do with Mexico.
Mexicans don't celebrate Cinco de Mayo. In Mexico, I don't think they acknowledge much of it, if any at
no.
all. And it's a completely made up holiday in the United States. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody.
Oh, that's hilarious, though.
I believe that Mexican independence is in August, September. Don't quote me on that. And real Mexican restaurants have like a completely different like cuisine for that time of the year. Like there's a very, very popular plate of real Mexican cuisine called chiles nogado. That's amazing. That they only have it like in the fall, like or late summer, like August, September. Amazing. But yeah, no, Cinco de Mayo, made up holiday.
Happy Cinco.
Happy
Don't they call it Cinco de Drinko?
Cinco de
They
Drinko.
call it Cinco de Drinko.
Yeah, so nothing says America more than a fake holiday like Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, that's hilarious, actually. I recently learned, too, that a lot of restaurants that say they're Mexican, they're Tex-Mex,
Yeah,
but not like Mexican.
yeah.
Am I like,
What
is
we
this a right thing?
think of Mexican food
Yeah.
is Tex-Mex or Americanized Mexican food.
Right.
That's like, for example, have you been to Italy?
No, I'm going in September.
Oh, nice. Amazing. We'll talk. I was
can't
just there in
wait.
July. I've been there a few times, but I was there just in last July. And when you go to Italy, you're not going to find chicken parmesan.
No, you're going to find what? Let me guess. What's their thing?
Well, it depends what part of Italy you're from, because also what we as Americans think of Italian food is not, it's not only that it's not Italian food, but the different regions of Italy have very distinctive food. Like, for example, Roman food is very different than Tuscan food. Like Roman food is cacio e pepe, carbonara, pastas like that.
Yes.
Tuscan food is like your grilled steak, your grilled artichoke, Tuscan flavors. The south of Italy, like there's like Sicilian pizza, there's Sicilian cuisine. Then there's like the Amalfi Coast has its own cuisine. So it's very different from each region of Italy. It's just that here in the US, we just made it
like
one big whole thing.
I've seen TikToks, which now that you said that, it makes sense, of Italian students, Italian students coming to America and going to like
the Olive Garden.
Yes, and their faces with like the portions and everything.
So we've talked about the Olive Garden 100 times here on the show. Like, I'm not kidding, like 100.
Why?
Because I love the Olive Garden.
Yeah.
But I always get slightly annoyed when I say I love the Olive Garden and people are like, oh, it's not real Italian food. And I'm like, I'm insulted that you think that I think that this is real Italian food. Like, do you think that I not know? Like, I've been to Italy like 4 or 5 times, bro. Like, I know what Italian food. Like,
I'll show you pictures.
With that said, I love the Olive Garden.
Isn't that the place that gives you really good bread? And
wait,
like
you
the
talk
salad?
about the place like you're not familiar with the Olive Garden.
I think we've been there, but not that much.
What?
Yes, it's just so funny because I wasn't born here, and like Hector all the time is like, "Oh, you've been there." I was like, "No," and he's like, "What?" Literally, what you just did. Yeah,
girl,
guys.
you gotta go to.
I gotta live my
Hector has
life
to take you to
out
the
here.
Olive Garden
I know,
and the
I know.
Cheesecake Factory.
Well, we love the Cheesecake Factory.
Nothing says the U.S. more than big portions at the Cheesecake
I
Factory.
love the cheesecake. We go there to Miracle Mile. You're like, you need to go out. I do. We went to Johnny Rockets this weekend. Freaking love it at Dolphin Mall. I just love the
So
simple
American.
things in life. I know. Look at me. Look at me go.
So American. From the country that gave us pan de bono.
I know.
She's
literally.
now having a burger at Johnny Rockets. How gringa of you.
But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
She's
Oh
saying,
my
pero let me
God,
tell you more than
why?
me.
Oh my God. Why? This is not planned.
Welcome to the vibe.
It's just
I
in the
told
vibe.
you it was a vibe.
Like, I feel like there's little things floating around saying, "Pero let me tell you." Pero.
Yeah.
And then I grab one.
there is.
Oh, that's why. That's why. That's why I keep being like, "Pero, but where's this coming from? Where am I getting pero? Let me tell you."
There is.
Right there.
But American chain restaurants, like people love to hate on them, and I think that it's all perspective and context. You got to know that it's not. When you go to a chain restaurant, you're not going to like the pinnacle of whatever cuisine it is.
Yeah.
You're not going to have the best meal of your life. Sometimes you just want to go and not think about what you're going to have. And I'm good with my fettuccine Alfredo. Like that
That's
is what
my
I want
plate.
right now. The fettuccine Alfredo.
That's my plate.
From the Olive Garden is bomb. It's fire. Like that is a great sauce.
I've been there.
Well, you gotta go more.
No,
you gotta
I
have their
got-
date on me soup.
You gotta make sure that you've been there.
You gotta have. Okay, wait.
I need
If
to
you've
write
been
this
to the
down.
Olive Garden, you have to have the most famous dish at the Olive Garden.
Which is?
Junior, do you know what it is?
He's never been.
Tour to Italy.
That's my boy right there.
Wow.
The tour of Italy. You
Really?
haven't been to the Olive Garden until you've had the tour of Italy.
Ooh.
So the tour of Italy is a piece of lasagna, a piece of chicken
Wow.
parmesan, and a serving of fettuccine Alfredo, all in one plate for your convenience.
You're talking my language. That is
And
what
then
I
they
need
put
to
the
eat.
parmesan on it.
I love the more the better.
Con los
Like, I need to-
pancitos y la sopa y la ensalada. Can we go to the Olive Garden?
Like, you know
after
what?
this?
I gotta go. I gotta go. Like, bye.
Oh yeah, Olive Garden. We talk about that restaurant
get
all the time.
sponsored.
We need to be sponsored
But why
by
are
the
you
Olive
not?
Garden. Why are we being sponsored, Olive Garden? To anybody out there listening or watching us, if you know anybody that works at Olive Garden corporate, please let them know.
Or maybe the owner is watching us right now.
It's a franchise.
Oh, owners? Whatever. We gotta figure this out because
Well, have fun in Italy. What part of
Thank
Italy are
you.
you going to?
I don't really know. I have to look at my itinerary.
Okay, you need to know that.
I know. I don't know. I'm
Italy's
going.
long and big.
I know.
Long and big.
Well, I'm really going in I'm Catholic
Mm-hmm.
and we're going in a retiro. Like we're gonna go visit Saint Padre Pio. All this but also we're gonna enjoy.
Mm-hmm. You're going to the
city.
Vatican.
The Vatican.
Yeah,
which
you're gonna leave the Vatican with your neck hurting because you're gonna be like this. the
I
entire
heard.
time.
I
The
heard.
entire time.
You've been there often?
To the Vatican, yeah. I've been there several times. And what's nice is that they were remodeling it or restoring it for years, and they just finished recently. And I believe that when you go, the Piedad is going to be there again. The
Pietà.
sculpture. Yeah, the
Love
Pietà.
her.
Because last year it was being restored. But no, it's incredible.
I want to go so
Enjoy
bad.
your trip.
Like, I'm very excited.
Have a lot of gelato.
Oh, with my daughter, that's
Yeah.
her number one love.
Yeah,
Like,
have a lot of
she's
gelato.
I want gelato. I want really good pizza.
The pizza's
and
not the
beer.
same though.
No.
No. The pizza's thinner. You're not gonna have 25 toppings on it.
Really? But I like that. I actually like thin pizza.
Yeah, it's pretty much bread
with
sauce,
cheese.
and cheese. Or te ponen un tomate with like basil and stuff like that.
It's gonna be so
It's
funny
not.
because I'm gonna be there having my pizza thing that you sent this to me.
You're not gonna have, cheese stuffed crust pizza, a meat lover
No,
stuffed
it's
crust
not gonna-
pizza. That does not
That
exist
doesn't
in Italy.
exist. I know it's crazy, but I'm very excited.
They have great sandwiches,
I heard the
paninis, and
beer
stuff like that.
It's really good.
The beer? I don't know. I haven't really had Italian beer, or maybe I haven't. But I just eat a lot. And,
I love food.
And eat a lot of sweets. The tiramisu is incredible. Incredible. So, yeah. Bueno, we have reached that time of the show that is our last soda time.
Oh, wow.
So I talked to you a little bit about the last soda. So we give a little shout out, a little something. So who do you want to give your last soda to, other than the Olive Garden? Who do you want to give your last soda to this year? Actually, you know what?
What?
No. Okay. Give your last soda.
Okay,
I'll do it
I'm
after your last
nervous.
soda.
I want to give the last soda to my daughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're such a better parent than I am. 314 42 episodes, and I've never given it to my son. You're such a better person than I am. Okay, go. But he's been on the show.
Oh, well, that's it. That's what I need. Yeah, my daughter, because honestly, the reason I'm here right now, sitting here, is because of her. I think ever since she was born, she gave me a different sense of like strength and just like ability to follow my dreams and like to just be myself and not be so scared to step out. Like, she teaches me every single day that, like, she has a lot in common with me. She like learns scripts, she dances, and I see her, and then I'm like, if I'm gonna do anything I can to push her dreams. I'm gonna do anything I can to support her in everything that she wants to do. And then I'm like, wait, why don't I do that for myself too? Like, if we have so much in common. So she is a reason.
So she inspires you to be a better version of yourself.
Yeah, she does.
Kids do that to you.
Oh my goodness. It's really impressive. And she also inspires me to be myself. Like, to just be me and not be afraid of what people are going to say or what people are going to think. And she's the reason I do everything. Like, when it comes to my creativity, I was like, wait, like, she got a lot of my genes of
So you think she's influenced your creativity?
so much.
That's a really interesting take on that, because sometimes you'll hear, especially like new moms or new parents. When I mean new, I mean like kids that are just a couple of years old, saying that because they're so like, it's so much that it sort of, their creativity, it halts it because they're just so busy and they're so overwhelmed.
Well, I definitely think that, like, I'm giving the soda, la Coca-Cola, right? Is it Coca-Cola or
soda.
what soda?
Yeah.
Oh, because we're not sponsored by
We're not
Why are we
sponsored.
not sponsored by a soda?
Well, fun
It's
thing
like it's
is
my
when
podcast.
we've had different sponsors for the last soda, like we've had different sodas and different bottling companies sponsor. So we'll say the last
soda
we'll name that, or like the last, if it's like a cafe or whatever. So we have done it.
Okay.
But Coca-Cola has actually never been a sponsor.
Well, Coca-Cola, what are you waiting for? I'm kidding. You're missing out. But hold on. But the soda that I give to my daughter, I know that she loves her dad so much that she'll definitely share that with him, and that was my purpose as well. Like, the reason I'm also able to be so creative and be myself is because I have an incredible partner who supports all my dreams and who's so secure in him and who we are and everything that he's my best friend. And honestly, if I didn't have him being so supportive, I don't think I would be here either.
Well,
you know?
and a plug-in. He is also the host of the Creative
Hello.
Club here on Cultura. Well, but I mean, listen, definitely creativity, something that's very important for both of
To
you
all
as
of us.
individuals, but probably as a couple and as parents as well. Because
Yeah.
I think that creativity is, and it's funny because if I was on Hector's show, that's something I would say. Creativity is something that you either have or you don't.
Ooh. Wow.
I do think so. I think that you're either a creative or you're not.
Wow.
That
okay.
doesn't mean that people that are not creative won't have creative moments.
Right.
But I think that the way
Yeah.
that I see it, it's that you're either creative or you're not.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're creative, you need an outlet for that creativity, whatever that looks like, whatever that may be. Because like I for a long time thought I wasn't a creative. Well, no, that's not true. I knew that I was a creative. Then I went into a sort of a lane and a career that is sucks any creativity out of you.
Sucked it out of my life.
I mean, and I'm a very creative person. So there came a point that I was like, I need an outlet for my creativity. And then, I did different things, this podcast being one of them. But I think that you're either creative or not. And like in your case, like you and your husband are both creatives. So you created this creative little person.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And honestly, I was also very happy being for a long time, like being behind always, like kind of like being like supportive and all of that. And then it was beautiful to see that dynamic of like both of us doing the same for each other. So yeah, and definitely Cultura Media House has been like, because I did notice as a creator, you like, I would, if I didn't have that outlet, like what you said, I would get like down in my life.
Yeah.
And I was like, why am I feeling like this? Not depressed, but sort of like, yeah, just very gloomy days. And then once I started, honestly, this happened. I don't know if I told you how is that, but it just literally happened. And I'm so grateful for how it happened.
Because creatives find their creatives at different times of their life.
Crazy.
But when they find it, they have to.
It's crazy. Yeah. And I'm so grateful. Like, I love everyone here. And I can say Creative Club, Cultura Media House.
Well, Creative Club too.
And everyone, they made my mental health
Yeah.
be so good.
Yeah. Because when you come here, so it's funny, we had the mayor of Miami-Dade County here last week. And when she came, she was sort of like, I don't want to say overwhelmed in a negative way, but she was sort of like, when you're surrounded by all this art and by all this creativity that there is here, that there is like a collective of creativity, you can't help but be inspired. Like, oh my gosh, what am I doing to do that? And she loved the art. She loved what we were doing here. So to be part of something like this, especially for people who are creatives, it's very meaningful because it's like, you come here, you do your show, and for that hour or 2 hours, you're focused on that, and it's your outlet. So, well, actually, this is a great opportunity for you to plug your show. So tell our listeners and our viewers, tell us about your podcast, the name of it, what it is, where they could find it, when it drops, all that.
Okay, great.
The floor is yours.
This is so exciting. So it's Industry of Cool.
I love the name.
Yeah. It came out of Almost Famous. Have you seen that film? So Industry of Cool is my show where I sit down with really cool people that I think are like the coolest in my book, I say. Like the coolest in my life, who have inspired me to be kind, who have inspired my style, who have inspired me in the acting world, and just like because of who they are. Not so much what they do, but just really just the amazing human beings they are. So I just sit with them, and I have like 3 segments in the show where I love to talk about personal life, and we also talk about their favorite films, and we do a little game at the end, and it's just really fun. It's just about having a nice little conversation, like a dinner table. You're just having laughs with your friends, and yeah, I love films so much. I love to break them down. I love to hear the backstory. So that really is what Industry of Cool is all about. having a good time with cool people. And it's how do you say it? It comes out.
It comes out, drops
on Saturdays.
every Saturday.
Every Saturday.
So it's weekly.
Yes. This weekend is my second episode with Junior. So I'm very
Nice.
excited.
Tremendo guest.
I know. Very and
Let's give a hand for Junior.
Yay!
We always love to give Junior his flowers because I
For
feel
sure.
there's people that need to get their flowers like
No.
real time, not
sure.
later.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he was a huge reason why I had it all in my head. And then once I did the episode with Junior, I was like, okay, like this is something I can do.
Yeah.
You know? So thank you.
I love you for free.
I love it for free too.
So
yeah,
and
that's
it's
what
on
it's called.
Cultura Talks.
Cultura Talks.
So there you
Yes.
go, everyone, on Cultura Talks, the same channel on YouTube that we're at, Industry of Cool, dropping every Saturday. So you could have your Pero Fridays and then have your
You see?
what are we calling your Cool Saturdays?
Cool Saturdays.
Cool Saturdays.
There you go.
Hashtag Pero
Wow,
Friday.
hashtag.
Hashtag Cool Saturdays.
Freaking love that.
You know, we just created something.
Look at us. Look
Like,
at us.
Being creative.
Have you seen the meme with Paul Rudd?
What?
Where he's like, look at us. No,
Look-
you've never seen that?
No, I would
I'll
have to
show
look
you
at
later.
it.
It's so funny.
It's from the episode of Hot Ones.
Yeah.
With Paul Rudd. Hey,
He's like,
look at us. Who would have thought?
Yes. Who would
Not
have
me.
thought? Yes. You see?
By the way, do you know it's one of the greatest things Paul Rudd has ever done?
What?
Do you guys watch Jimmy Fallon?
I have, but
Okay.
not like all the time.
Okay. They redid a couple of years ago.
Sticks?
No.
The other music video?
They did the music video of You Spin Me Round by
Yes.
Dead or Alive. And it's frame by frame. It is amazing.
Yes.
I need to watch this. Like
Frame
now.
by
Masterful.
frame. Like
No, it's
it's a
incredible.
master class in like reinterpreting that song and video. Like
Wow.
you watch the original and you watch theirs, it's frame by frame.
No.
They even do the facial movements just like that. It's so good.
No,
Yep.
he's one of my favorite actors
So
for sure.
good.
He doesn't age. Also, have you noticed?
So good.
Like I don't know.
Doesn't
how
age at all.
He's one of these people.
looks
Paul
the same.
Rudd is one of these people that because Paul Rudd, I don't consider him as ever been like an A-lister, like a George Clooney or a Brad Pitt. He's just somebody that when you stop and look at his like catalog and his filmography, he's been in so many things.
So many.
He was even Friends. Like he had a huge
He was in Clueless.
and Clueless, but like he's done TV, he's done film,
done everything.
He's done like on Jimmy Fallon. He comes out all the time. Like he's had so many moments,
Yeah.
and he's one of these people that's just been around forever.
He's someone that needs his flowers as well.
Yeah, Paul Rudd. It's our
Because
Paul Rudd
shout out to
Appreciation
Paul
Day.
Rudd, man. Love
So,
him.
okay, so my last soda actually goes out to one of our favorite people that we've talked about her a bunch of times on the show, but our shout out this week goes to Gloria Estefan. So Gloria Estefan has a new song and called Raíces. So it's about heritage, about where you come from. And the reason why I'm giving it a last soda is to bring awareness to the song, but the song went #1 in a bunch of charts, in like the tropical chart, and like the digital charts, and like the Latin charts, like in a bunch of charts. It went to #1, and this woman is like in the 6th decade of her career, like 80s, 90s, aughts, 10s, 20s, like the fifth
Yeah.
decade of her career, and she's still like authentically herself. She's still putting Miami on the map, and talking about things like your heritage and all that, and the songs have an audience like so many years later. And I just think it's really important to continue to highlight even somebody as established as her, to continue to highlight that the fact that she's still out there making really good music, and the song is really good. So yeah, my last soda to Gloria Estefan.
I love that. She's iconic.
I tell people all the time that when you're from Miami, Gloria Estefan feels like a relative of yours.
Yeah.
Oh, it's my tia Gloria. Like,
Titi.
she feels like you know her.
Yeah.
And
Your
that's
whole family.
your whole family.
Yeah.
She feels like she is your family. And it's sort of strange to explain to other people because you don't know her, or at least not personally,
Right.
but her and Emilio feel so familiar
Yes.
that they feel like somebody that because you've grown up with them. They've grown up with you because you've seen their ups and downs. You've seen their kids grow. You've seen their grandkids, and you've grown up to their music. You've grown up to their trajectory, and when and somebody that's so connected to your culture and is from your city and is so the city is so symbolic of who they are as well and their image. You feel like you know them and you feel like they're family. So that's why I try to explain to people that are not from Miami and are not Latino the impact that the Estefans have to people down here. And it's very hard to put into words. I find myself failing to properly explain how they feel like family.
Do you think they're like the Miami royal family?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like
For
that's
sure.
what they are.
For sure. And again, 40 some, almost 50 years in, they're still.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
They look great.
Yeah.
And they look like really nice people.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a.
You've never heard. I mean, just think about the fact that they've been around for so long, and you've never heard anything controversial about them. You've never heard them being mean to anyone. You've never heard them nothing because they're very
I have never seen any.
They're very legit, humble people.
Well, aren't they the reason why Shakira got a chance at music at the beginning?
I don't know if they're the reason why she got a chance, but I know that Emilio has produced a lot of some of her biggest hits have been produced by Emilio. So they definitely have had a hand in her success.
Yeah.
I don't know if back in Colombia she started on her own.
I remember hearing stories that she would go and show up to and she would not give up. She was like, listen to my music and nothing.
So you know what? I want to ask you something. Como que tú eres colombiana, we can talk about this. Shakira. We love Shakira. Mm-hmm. Shakira in English or Shakira in Spanish? There's only one right answer.
Spanish, 90s, pies descalzos. No?
No, I agree with you.
Oh.
Shakira in Spanish is one of my favorite artists of all time. In English, no.
What happened? Same here.
I like Hips Don't Lie. Hips Don't Lie is good. That's about it.
Yeah, that's it.
But for me, which I know a lot of people feel this way, it's I do not like her English music at all. But then I love her Spanish music. There's not an in between, right?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Her Spanish music is just so far superior.
Yeah, I wish she was singing still pies descalzos and all these incredible.
Estoy aquí queriéndote, ahogándome entre fotos y cuadernos, entre cosas y recuerdos que no puedo comprender. Let's not forget no encontré ojos así como los que tienes tú. That song is so good. That song is so good.
Yeah, that was my first concert.
Shakira? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it for that album?
It was actually.
Then that was Miami Arena, August 2000. I was there.
Excuse me? Wow, with the serpent?
Yes.
Do you remember the serpent in the freaking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shakira, I remember. I remember. I have a good memory. I've been to a lot of concerts
Me
in my
too.
day.
Okay, what's the best concert you've ever gone to?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. I could go on forever, but we're running out of time. The best concert I've been to, I can't give one answer. It's multi-layered. The concert that surprised me the most was Michael Bublé Detroit Masonic Center in Temple in 2005. So I went to see Michael Bublé literally a month or two before he hit it big. And I was sort of discovering him at that moment. And he had a couple of albums out, but he hadn't become a superstar yet. So I saw him in a very intimate show at the Masonic Temple of Detroit.
Wow.
And literally you could go up and put your hands on the stage. And Michael Bublé was as far to me as you are to me now, singing. And I remember thinking this is incredible.
You were at his house.
Yeah, incredible. Literally. I've seen a lot of people in concert.
Yeah, I think this was a complicated question.
I saw one of the first huge concerts that I went to was U2 Pop Mart tour in 1997. I was like really young, but I loved it. They came out of a huge lemon.
Oh my gosh.
I saw Madonna in the Confessions tour, and the thing about that show was, whether you like her or not, I was in the third row. So when she came out, I was like, holy shit.
She was
like,
right there.
She was like literally 10 feet away from me. I remember like everybody I was with, everybody was kind of like, because when you're that close to someone, you could see them how like
Literally.
I'm seeing you. That I was like,
Little tripped
oh,
out.
wow. But then, you know, if I have to pick one, it would probably be 2023. I saw The Weeknd in the After Hours Till Dawn tour. You know, my boy Abel. But I'm gonna add to your, you know, a kid story. I went in 2023 to the After Hours Till Dawn tour. I had really good seats, but I was able to take my son, and we had a great time. And he was so happy. He called it the best night of his life. And I remember there was like a couple next to us, and they were like, man, I hope one day when I have a kid, I could come to a concert and rock out with them. Like, because we rocked out to Abel. Like, we were maniacs. And it was aside from the fact that it was an amazing show, it was a really nice time. So I would probably put that.
Yeah, I can't wait to take my daughter to one. Like, oh my gosh, I love concerts.
I love concerts too. I am looking forward to, I'm going to see this fall, one of my favorite bands of all time that I had never seen, which is Nine Inch Nails.
What?
Yeah.
When?
I think it's in September, and it's like in Orlando. But I love Nine Inch Nails.
Closer.
And I've never.
That's the song I know.
I'm a big Pretty Hate Machine fan from their first album. I love their entire first album. But I've never seen them, and I'm gonna finally see. Better late than never, right?
No, for sure. I mean, that's how I feel about Morrissey. I hope he doesn't.
Mira, esta es una colombiana que le gusta Morrissey.
The Smiths, to me, all high school, still like, you know, the Spotify close up of the year.
Yeah.
The Smiths is always number one. Wow. Well, now it's Moana and Encanto.
Wow.
But it was always the Smiths.
Oh my God, Moana. Encanto was such a big thing in my house.
Oh my gosh.
We don't talk about Bruno.
We don't talk about Bruno anymore.
We could go on. Pero oye, thank you so much for being on the show.
No. Thank you so much.
You're now part of you're a Pero Prima now. Well, you're like bona fide Pero Prima because you've been a co-host, not
That's
a guest,
crazy.
a co-host.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I really thank you so much for even thinking of me.
Of
This
course.
is such a huge,
Of course.
like, how do you say it? I'm at loss of words.
When I knew that Ish was going to be out, I was thinking like of a co-host. I always like to get a little creative with the co-hosts that I pick. I always like to want to pick some, you know, bring somebody on that will add something a little different to it. And you know, I had seen your podcast, and I was like, oh, you know, it'd be great. She seems to have like really good energy.
Did I live up to your standard?
You did.
Okay, good.
You did. There was no weird, awkward silence. That's what I'm always afraid of on the show.
I know, right?
Weird,
like
awkward silence.
So
that we're like, so yeah, what do you want to talk about?
So what's your favorite drink?
Yeah, my favorite
Well,
drink.
I was afraid of that. I was like, ooh, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
no,
we pull through.
We've had a few guests throughout the years that we've interviewed that it's like, so who was your inspiration? My mother. Okay, great.
Oh no, like so. I love going deep.
Yeah.
Like that.
No, but especially to co-host, it has to be like a vibe. Yeah. But I knew you were. Just by seeing your show, I knew you were gonna do good. So thank you.
I want to say her show, to correct, it's Industry of Cool on Cultura TV.
Cultura TV.
Not Cultura Talks.
Oh my gosh.
It's
look
on Cultura
TV.
Yeah, look at you vesting up the promo of your show.
Enjoying
Cultura
my space
TV.
Here. Oh my gosh. What would I do without
cool.
Junior?
Yeah. Cultura TV.
TV. That's right. TV Talks.
Came out May 3rd. One episode in. Industry of Cool, Valeria Zea.
Yeah. So, bueno, Valeria, thank you so much for co-hosting with me. Everybody, we hope you listened, laughed, and learned. And as always, remember to grab your croqueta, your pastelito, and your cafecito. And thank you for joining us. Hopefully, Ish will be back next week. If not, we'll have another co-host. Maybe Valeria will come again. Who knows? But everybody, thank you so much for having us this week. We will see you next week. Have a good one.